Well, holy smokers, folks, this ain't no dang jokers. Corsair Gaming CRSR is going absolute beast mode here today, okay? We've got to talk about this stock. What is going on here? Things like that, okay? And there's so much we got to get into in this video here today. Now, you know me, I've been buying the stock very heavily the past several months. Huge believer in this company for a long term, okay? And I've always thought this company could end up being like $100 stock, possibly in like 5 years, okay? Well, there's been a little change here with Corsair Gaming, and maybe this is $100 stock in 2021, okay? And we're going to get into what that big change is, what is going on here, and kind of what I foresee happening and things like that, okay? This is absolute craziness, needless to say, especially what has just transpired with this company. So Corsair Gaming, by the way, if you're looking at the stock and you're like, what the heck is a Corsair Gaming, okay? Think of it as a company that's at the forefront of the gaming industry and the streaming industry, okay? And they've just continued to build this business bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you know anything about gaming and you're at all interested in PC gaming of any kind, you know Corsair, okay? And if you're anything into streaming at all, you probably know Corsair for some of their streaming products from the Elgato brand and things like that. I'm actually using a little light on the right-hand side of me right now that is actually a light that is from the Elgato brand, okay? And so, yeah, think about them, think about streaming and gaming, which are two industries that are just getting exponentially bigger, right? And Wall Street's had this thought about like Corsair Gaming as like, well, it just had like this big pull forward in demand, right? Because everybody was stuck at home for almost a year and a half, right? And so Wall Street believes like, oh, no one's going to care about streaming and gaming anymore. But little do they know, like just because the world's going to open back up does not mean people don't care about gaming anymore, streaming or something like that, okay? These things will continue to get much bigger over the next 5 to 10 years because people that enjoy streaming and people that enjoy gaming are still going to continue to enjoy those things even if the world is back open again. That's just the way it is, okay? And it has a phenomenal CEO in front of this company, just a beast business model. We'll go through some of the numbers in this one and where I think the stock price is going and things like that, okay? But look at this. I pulled up a 5-day chart of this. I mean, it just went crazy. I always felt like the stock could start moving in summertime, and I've said that many times on the YouTube channel. Oh, I feel like it could start moving in summer. Well, we're a few days away from summer starting, and my gosh, did the move already start? Needless to say, oh my word, that is a move, okay? You don't just see that very often in stocks where you get a 20% plus move. It is very few and far between. Let's just put it that way, okay? So when it comes to Corsair Gaming here, okay, this is the main account I own Corsair Gaming in. I own 10,444 shares in this account. And yeah, it's a $72,000 move roughly here today in that account. We'll see where Corsair, trades at, at the finish of the day. But this has been a stock I continue to buy and buy and buy for the past 4+ months where, as it would go down, I just bought heavier and heavier and heavier. And I was truly buying the dip. I did that with Tattooed Chef and Corsair Gaming. If you've been following my channel for the last 6 months, like you have heard a lot of talk about Tattooed Chef, TTCF, right, and Corsair Gaming. And Tattooed Chef hit a bottom around $15 a share. I think today Tattooed Chef, TTCF is around 23. That one's going to 100 plus, easy long term, in my personal opinion, okay? Corsair has always kind of been a little bit safer of a play than TTCF for me. Not as much upside in Corsair Gaming, but there's something going on short term with Corsair that it might end up actually being a lot more upside for Corsair than TTCF in the short term, okay? But needless to say, just a massive move. This is in the public account. I own another 5,000 shares in that account. So yeah, huge move in that one, $35,000 move there in the public account, okay? And then as far as my options only account, because now in the private stock group, right? By the way, if you want to check out my private stock group, check out first pinned comment down there. I have the public account, right, which was started several years ago, and we built that up to, I don't know, it might be at 1.5, 1.6 million now. We have a dividends only account where I can only own dividend stocks. And then we have the new options only account, which I started about a month ago or so, where I only make options moves in that particular account. And one of the moves I literally just made, I think it was Friday, is I bought some Corsair options. And why didn't I buy more? That's all I got to say, But who could ever foreseen, the stock was going to move 20%, if not more than 20% come Monday. If I would have known that, I would have bought a whole lot more than this. I would have bought, let's say $20,000 worth of options or something like that. Because, this one just went absolutely crazy. And by the way, if you're wondering expiration on these, 2023, whenever I do options for the most part, I like to play a little longer term. I like to give myself some time to play with. Although, sometimes you can make a ton of money on very, very short term in nature options, right? Something expire in a few weeks or a few months from now, right? That could be great if it works out in your favor and you can make so much money, right? However, and this is a big however, right? In a situation where, you need some time for things to kind of play out, because you never really know when the big money is going to flood in, right? And usually what I'm waiting on is I'm waiting for Wall Street money to flood into my stocks, right? The hedge funds. I'm trying to get in 6 months to 12 months usually before Wall Street gets in, before the hedge funds get in, because there's certain things I'm looking for in a stock that I believe, these things are going to work out. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, the hedge funds, Wall Street in general is going to hop all over it. They're going to bring the big money in. The stock price goes crazy, right? And so I'm trying to always be like 6 to 12 months in front of them, essentially, in building a position. When it comes to Corsair Gaming, I try to be 6 to 12 months, but at the same time, you don't know. Like, what if it takes 18 months for big money to flood in this? You just sometimes don't know, okay? Or also there's the risk that I could have been wrong on the stock and maybe, I don't know, no one cares about gaming anymore. No one cares about streaming. Corsair product sales just go down. Not the most realistic thing, okay? Look at this. Oh my goodness, okay? Corsair rockets up huge as WallstreetBets finds its latest meme stock, okay? Wait just a minute. When it comes to Corsair Gaming, no, you don't call a Corsair Gaming a meme stock, okay? There's been a lot of the other stocks in the past that WallstreetBets has been behind, right? That have some questionable business models, and you kind of, you're riding on some hopes and prayers that these companies can do certain things, right? Corsair Gaming, no, you don't need your hopes and prayers for this stock. This stock is like, curry from an open 3, okay? The valuation ridiculously low, the business model growing a ton, and we'll look at those numbers, okay? Super profitable business model. A CEO in front of this company has been leading this company since the 90s, and they just continue to get bigger and bigger, and they buy out more companies and can grow themselves bigger and bigger. This is a beast, okay? This is a beast. This is not a meme stock, okay? Disconnect the company from the stock price. Corsair, the company, is a flat out beast, okay? There's no doubt about that, okay? So I just, I hate when mainstream media tries to chalk a Corsair Gaming up as a meme stock. Please. Oh my goodness, child, you gotta be kidding me. As of Monday morning, the stock was mentioned at least 1,180 times on WallstreetBets WSB. Meanwhile, showed activity around Corsair, up 17% at that time. Corsair follows a slew of others that have become favorites on WallstreetBets in meme stock crowds. Though its latest jump could just be getting underway, and we're going to talk about that, for a bit here, and kind of this move and things like that, right? And so there's a lot of Corsair posts that are right toward the top on WallstreetBets right now. I'm seeing, okay. This one looked like it was the most popular. I think this was the second top post when I went on there right now. CRSR DD Part 2, why Corsair will swallow the gaming industry and be a millionaire maker stock. So I guess this person, they had a part 1, and then they went into things a little more in detail, part 2, and they went into a lot of different things, mostly a lot of kind of talking points that I bring out a lot in videos. They went into a few other things that I don't really talk about, a few things around kind of trading and things like that, and kind of a little bit of a different perspective on some things than I bring, right? They covered the growth for the company, right? Which you look at the growth of this company, right? The growth year over year, 71% revenue growth, right? 131% year-over-year net revenue growth. I mean, for the gamer and creator peripheral segment, that's unbelievable. Gross profit came in at 160 mil. That was up 103% year-over-year. Gross margin came in at 30%. Operating income was up 404%. Adjusted operating income was up 224%. I mean, you look at these numbers for Corsair Gaming, and this is why I just think it's disrespectful to just be like, oh, it's a meme stock or something like that. Like, what are you talking about, man? This company is a growth beast. Plain and simple, a super profitable business model, the type of business model that I can sleep very well at night in. They're just a beast, man. Like, you can't say anything bad about this company, okay? And I'm seeing a lot of Corsair posts on Reddit, okay, on WallstreetBets. This person put $1 million in the stock. I don't like them, okay? I don't like them. You know why? Because they have more money in the stock than I have in the stock, and you're not allowed to do that. I get jealousy if I see anybody have more money in one of my stocks than me, okay? Look at this one, Corsair DD, and why a growth company in a growth industry. And yeah, that's the thing with Corsair. It's not just it's a growing company. They're in two huge segments that are just going to continue to get bigger. bigger, in my opinion, for the next 5-10 years. I think anybody that has any clue about the gaming industry and the streaming industry would say, are those going to shrink over the next 5 years and 10 years, or are those going to grow? I would assume everybody's going to say those will grow, much bigger than they are today. I don't see that kind of slowing anytime soon, right? And so a lot of folks obviously excited about Corsair in there. I was looking at even like Yahoo message boards, right? And look at all these reactions 32 seconds ago, 40 seconds ago, a minute ago. So definitely all of a sudden out of nowhere, folks are very, very interested in Corsair Gaming, right? It seemed like Corsair Gaming was a little bit of a niche stock until about 24 hours ago, right? Corsair Gaming, obviously, I talked about it a ton on my channel, right? And we talked about it a lot in the private stock group and maybe in Stock Hub, right? But outside of our little kind of inner circle there, Corsair Gaming is not a stock that you hear anybody really talking about. If I ever watch CNBC, I don't hear them talking about Corsair Gaming. I don't see a ton of other people, creators on the platform talking about Corsair Gaming. It's just not a popular stock. But that was yesterday, and today is today, and now this is the most talked about stock in the stock market as of right now, okay? And that's why I always tell people, man, in the stock market, things can change real quick, right? Things can go real bad real fast, right? We saw the fastest stock market crash in history in 2020, right? It was 35% down in 22 trading days. 35% down in the market in 22 trading days. Unbelievable, right? And things can just go crazy, right? I had this little, I was kind of waking up this morning, and I don't know why I thought this, but I was like, man, I think Tattoo Chef's going to be up 20% today. I literally had that thought in my head, and I don't usually have that thought. And I was right and I was wrong. It wasn't Tattoo Chef that was up 20%. It was the other stock that was up 20%. I don't know why. I just had that weird feeling like one of my stocks is going to be up 20% today, because I haven't had one of those huge days in a while where one of my stocks just went beast mode. And little did I know, it was the Corsair Gaming with the beast mode, okay? If you look at the growth for this company, right? $1.60 year ago EPS, expected to do $1.81 this year, right? $2.01 next year. This year, expect to have 20% growth. Next year, expect to have over 7% growth, right? And that 7% growth, don't be surprised if they easily beat those numbers. Never mind if you have, all of a sudden this company be the talk of Wall Street and the talk of folks. I mean, think about how much free publicity that's going to be for Corsair Gaming, right? I mean, my gosh. This business is already in an unbelievable spot. Never mind if all of a sudden everybody in the, I want to say everybody in the world, but everybody in the stock market community all of a sudden is talking about Corsair Gaming and talking about Elgato, their other brand they own, right? And they own a few other brands as well. Oh my gosh, the free publicity you get from that. I mean, we're talking about tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars of free advertising. If all of a sudden people are talking about Corsair Gaming left and right, the same way they were talking about AMC and GameStop and some of those, okay? Even if it doesn't even have to be as big and as popular as AMC and GameStop, if it can just be a little bit toward that, that's a huge thing, man. Like, people don't even understand how big the free advertising is for these companies if it becomes just some big thing that's going on the internet, man. And if a bunch of people make a ton of money from Corsair Gaming, I can tell you those people are much more likely to go out and buy Corsair Gaming products, right? I ate some Tattoo Chef for lunch. I eat Tattoo Chef for lunch almost every day, okay? You know why? Because I own the dang company and I wanted to see it thrive, and so I'm going to support that company's products to the fullest, right? And so, even if I want to eat something else, man, I still eat that Tattoo Chef, okay? And so, same thing with the Corsair Gaming. If this stock makes a bunch of people a bunch of money and it's super popular, next thing you know, they're going to sell a bunch more products to those folks. That's just bottom line. And some of these Corsair products sometimes run thousands of dollars depending on the product you get, right? If it's like some of the keyboards, mouses, you're talking 100, 200. But you're talking about some of their higher end products. There's some of their, more toward gaming PC type things, right? I mean, you're talking about thousands of potential dollars this company can make from just one product, right? Corsair Gaming. So let's talk about this stock price and things like that. And then we'll get into, after that, whether I'm thinking about buying, selling a stock, what I'm thinking about moves I'm thinking about making in the market in regards to me personally when it comes to Corsair Gaming and how I view this, okay? So when it comes to the Corsair, right, I think there's something being missed here. The thing about Corsair Gaming, which makes this such a crazy stock, and why all of a sudden I always thought Corsair Gaming could be like $100 plus stock in 5 years from now. And now I'm like, this is a possibility this year, depending on kind of how a very important thing goes, okay? So when you look at Corsair Gaming, we're talking about this is about a $3 billion market cap, okay? Now, if you look at GameStop, $16 billion market cap, AMC's recently been trading around $20 billion, okay? And so one of the reasons I came... I remember on Millennial Money a few weeks ago, I said, I think there's probably only a 1 to 2% probability that AMC was to go over $100, okay? And the reason I said that is because at the end of the day, with a stock like AMC is when you get these market caps to push up bigger and bigger and bigger, it gets harder and harder to move that stock. And that's why people are looking at GameStop and AMC and they're like, come on, can't we push to that next level and all of a sudden, go to 100 plus on AMC? You got to understand, as these market caps get bigger and bigger, they're harder and harder to push, okay? Much, much harder. It's much easier to get some stock to, $1 billion market cap to pop than, let's say, Apple to pop. Huge, right? Apple's a $2 trillion plus company, right? And so as companies get bigger and bigger, you need big money behind you to start to move those stocks. I'm talking Wall Street money. I'm talking hedge funds. I'm talking, investors that have hundreds of millions to invest in a company or billions of dollars to invest in a company, right? And so that's the hard part with those stocks. With Corsair Gaming, we're talking about a little over a $3 billion market cap. So that's why this one could easily push, depending upon how much support this stock gets, it could easily push to $6 billion, $8 billion, $10 billion market cap. And if you're talking about $8 billion, $10 billion market cap, we're already over $100 on the stock at that time, especially if we're talking about like a $10 billion market cap, right? We're already like pushing, a $10 billion market cap and you're already pushing $100 plus a share, right? And then you're still not even to anywhere near these type of market caps, right? And so, when Wall Street Bets gets hold of a stock like this, and next thing you know, it's the talk of Wall Street. I mean, I don't want to say today's just the start of things, but you got to understand, there can be so much more to go. Because if this stock gets anything even remotely close to the type of support AMC and GameStop did, there's no doubt in my mind that this could push 10 billion plus because of the fundamentals underlying in this company that are absolutely beautiful with this company, right? I mean, you're talking about a super profitable business model that has revenues going insane, right? A CEO who does a phenomenal job acquiring other companies to continue to build this and build this and build this, right? And you're talking about Wall Street money, I've always felt it's just a matter of time before the Wall Street money and the hedge fund starts plowing into the stock, right? Because you look at this company and it's been trading at like a 20-something forward P. That's silly. We're talking about a very nice growth company. Be trading at that type of valuation, rather laughable, okay? Rather laughable. So big money's flooding in Corsair Gaming, don't matter what. And that's something I always like to try to do whenever I'm, investing in a stock. I always like to say I don't need anybody because no matter what, Wall Street money is going to flood to my stocks over time anyways because the business models are going to be too attractive, the valuations are going to be too attractive for Wall Street to be like, no, I don't want to own that one. So when it comes to Corsair Gaming, regardless if this continues to build as a Wall Street bet stock or not, regardless, big money's flooding in the stock down the road anyways, okay? Now, if all of a sudden you talk about Wall Street Bets money continues to fly in, everybody's talking about it, it's the talk of Wall Street, right? And then on top of that, you start to get the flood of Wall Street money in this, right? Because Wall Street loves a story. Wall Street loves growth, and they love a story. Guess what Corsair Gaming has? It has a story, right? In the, big in gaming and streaming, right? They have the story behind them, right? A continued growing brand that's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're leveraging influencers as well in the gaming space, right? And it has a ton of growth. You look at the growth numbers this company's put up; it's nothing short of amazing. And so it has the recipe. It has the recipe of being a perfect Wall Street stock down the road. But the thing is, it looks like the retail investors are getting in this one before Wall Street's going to get in it, which is going to make for just a crazy situation, needless to say, in this one. Because when you talk about the retail traders or investors are all, plowing in this, let's say it goes on over the next week or the next several weeks, and then all of a sudden Wall Street is starting to pick up on the stock more and more because it's being talked about more, right? And then all of a sudden you get the Wall Street money a flood in. And there's no telling where the stock could top at. And the crazy thing is, you could make an argument on Corsair Gaming, even if the stock price tripled, right? And let's say it went to a forward P in the 60 to 80 range. I'm sure there's some folks out there that could say, well, it's certainly not as undervalued as it once was, but it could potentially still be a deal long term because you look at something like Logitech, right? Logitech, if you look at Logitech's market cap, Logitech's usually trading around a $20 billion market cap roughly, right? $20 billion for Logitech. Corsair Gaming arguably has stronger building brands than Logitech does, right? Logitech is kind of known as the, I want to call him the generic player in that space, but Corsair Gaming just has a branding advantage over something like Logitech. And you look at where Logitech's business model is at with a $20 billion market cap, and that's why I've always felt like Corsair Gaming is going there over time to that type of company that's a $10 billion, $20 billion company long term, because I look at their brands and I look at their, how much people love their products, that once again, the underlying business. Then you compound that with potentially a short squeeze situation. We'll see what happens with the stock, but the next thing you can know, you could be looking at gamma squeezes if this thing starts to roar higher, right? And then all of a sudden, everybody in the stock market community is talking about it. Corsair Gaming. And there's no telling where the top is for the stock. That's all I'm saying with this one. Now, for me personally, am I interested in buying the stock, selling the stock, anything like that? No, absolutely not. I'm willing to hold whatever shares I have, and we'll see kind of where the stock goes over time, okay? If it was to go above $100, that's where I would start having to at least consider the possibility of selling. But the key word is consider. It doesn't even mean I would sell it at that price. At the end of the day, Corsair Gaming, even after this huge move upward, still undervalued. Massively undervalued. If it moves up to $50, $60, still undervalued for a long-term investor, in my opinion. If it moves up to $80 to $100, then you start reaching maybe fair value for a long-term basis. If you start going over 100, that's where things could get real interesting. But if all of a sudden you're talking about if this stock was to make, let's say, $80 to $100 plus move, right? All of a sudden, this is going to be the most talked about stock in the stock market. And then all of a sudden you think about the free advertising this company gets if it was to become that. Oh my gosh, okay? I mean, so yeah, I can't even consider selling the stock anytime soon. Anytime soon. That's the bottom line. If you told me I had to buy another 5,000 shares today or sell 5,000 shares of my position, I'd buy 5,000 way before I would even think about selling 5,000 shares, guys. That's the bottom line with that one. So yeah, Corsair Gaming, it's become the new B stock on Wall Street, and we'll see whether this thing's just a few days of a story, a few weeks of a story, or a few months of a story, and maybe this is the story for the rest of 2021. We'll just have to see. Only time will tell. No one can really give you the answer on that, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, if you don't mind, smash a thumbs up button, that like button before you leave this video. I appreciate it in a huge way. That helps us out huge. YouTube algorithm, if you want to know where I'm getting 75% plus of my stock picks, check out the second pinned comment down there. Much love as always, guys, and have a great day.